Hey guys, so I thought I would do a identification video this time. I have my Mystic album here, and I wasn't sure which one I was going to pick, but I figured let me try and choose an early US stamp to try and prove using the steps that are necessary what stamp it is. So I'm not quite sure which one I'm going to do yet, but let's see here. How about this guy? This is number 18 now. Let's see, paid cancel. I paid $350. Do I have a cert for that? No, I generally say that I have a cert. Okay, this must be the one here. Yeah. So anyways, let's do this one. This one actually has a paid fancy cancel, and as I'm learning about stamps, paid cancels are actually kind of a fancy cancel. So let's zoom on in on this bad boy here. This is actually quite a nice stamp. I like this thing quite a bit. No wonder I bought it. You know, maybe there's like a slightly pulled perf in the bottom right corner. I was really going to nitpick, but somebody has some stuff written on the back as well. P12, probably plate 12. Somebody wrote 1-1. Whatever. Okay, so let's begin the process of identifying these. Now, I know before I even get into, I haven't looked up any of the steps or anything yet. I already know these older Franklins. Here we go. There are subtle differences. There's a lot of issues that look the same to each other. And these, at least in the past, I certainly have had a difficult time trying to identify these. So, anyways, the first thing that I'm going to do, and I'm going to try and pretend that I don't know already that it's number 18. Let's just start from the beginning. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to log on. I know these days, my first step is I'm going to go to stampsmarter.com. I go right over to Stamp Smarter. So let's get there and take a look at what they have for us. Okay, so here we are. It's actually stampsmarter.org. So, anyways, let's go to their features here. Now, what I had in my head, the first thing was using the visual identifier. Now, I believe that's in 1847 USA, and it is. Okay, so this, let's say from nothing. Well, I can say that it definitely looks like an older stamp. So let's go ahead and try this oldest visual identifier. And there it is. I don't see any other ones. That's close, but not the same design, right? That's the design that we have. So let's launch that. Okay. Now, just so you guys know, I haven't practiced this or done any of this before, so we're going to figure this out all on our own together, the way that I would actually naturally do it. And this is the first thing I would do, would be to check here. Now, the first thing that I notice is, unfortunately, there is a whole slew of them that it could be. So, let's take a look at this information on the side here. I find on these websites this stuff is worth reading. So paid for the rate for drop letters. Okay. Yeah, okay. So there's some plates that produce the stamps anyways. So special printings. The following information applies to all of the 1851 reprints. Special printings were issued to showcase a complete set of the U.S. issues for the First World's Fair. Officially held in the U.S. at the Centennial International Exposition of 1876 in Philadelphia, and also to provide stamps for collectors and others to satisfy numerous requests. Okay. While reissued stamps were valid for postage, reprints were not. Oh, the series was actually demonetized in 1861. I did not know that. All of the 1851 reprints are easily identifiable by their gauge 12 perforations versus the gauge 15 of the regularly issued stamps. Huh. Okay, well that's actually a pretty good snippet of information there. Says also the 1 cent reprint is easily identifiable by its bright blue color. Okay, well, so I guess, yeah, there was reprints, right? And this is what kind of shows here in this table. There was many reprints of this design, so they released a whole bunch of them. And so they're saying that reprints that have perf 12, well, if it has perf 12, then it's a reprint compared to the regularly issued stamps that would have a perf of 15. Now, when I look at this table, everything actually says 15 and a half. I'm not sure about why. That's a little bit conflicting data, but maybe the half of perf isn't enough to make a big deal. I don't know. Big difference. Anyways, so I will say this, though. Looking at this chart, you know, our stamp definitely has perforations. That's a given. And this chart, beginning with number 5, 5A, 6, these say none. So these would probably be imperforate stamps. So I think it's safe to say that we could rule out any of these stamps from number 5 all the way to number 9A, because they don't even have perforations. So there's literally no chance it could even be any of these. Now it starts with number 18 is the first one that has perforations. And so it potentially could be number 18 all the way through number 14. Or 40, I'm sorry. Yeah, so number 18 all the way through 40. Now, all of them have 15 and a half perf, except for number 40, it actually says 12. That must be the reprint that they're talking about. So, perhaps, and I'm just thinking out loud while I'm looking at this, perhaps all of the stamps from number 18 to 24B are actually considered the regular issues, right? So anyways, first thing that I want to know is, does the stamp have perf 15, 15 and a half or whatever, or perf 12? And that's going to help us out to start. So I think that's a pretty critical piece of information. Let's take a look at that first. Okie dokie, artichoke. So, got my stamp here, and I've got my perf gauge. Let's toss this guy on here real quick and see if we can figure out what perfs it has. So, let's start with 12. So where's 12? Right there. So, let me slap this guy over. It's a little weird having the camera here, but you know what? I think maybe it would be better to put it on top. Let's try that. Let's see what you guys think about that. Okay, well, immediately it does not seem like it to me. Let's make our way down to 15 and try that. I'm actually having a hard time doing this here. So it really is kind of screwy with the camera right in front of my face, where I would actually normally have my head. That screws me up a little bit. Okay, so this is looking more like 15. Now there's 15 and a half too, is what they were saying. That actually seems to work pretty well. Anyways, from looking at it, I'm pretty convinced that this is going to be a 15 or 15 and a half. I think it's a little easier, at least with this camera in my face, to see it like this on top. This is looking like a 15 to me. If I scoot it to 15 and a half, actually that actually looks really good. Okay, so I'm sold on it being a 15 and a half perf. So now we have that critical piece of information. So we know that it is perf 15 and a half. Done deal. Let's take a look back at this table and see if we can figure anything else out for the next step. Okay, so 15 and a half, cool. Well, that really narrows it down, doesn't it, guys? Well, hey, at least we know that we have a regular issue, is what I would call this. I'm completely sold on it having 15 and a half perf, so that means that it's not number 40. So, at this point, we can at least rule out number 40 and numbers 5 through 9A. So we're left with pretty much any of these guys here that have 15 and a half perf. Now, as I'm looking at this, I'm thinking about, is there anything on this table that can help me? Well, it looks like this one actually lists the design size, so that's a start. But none of the rest do. And we know it's not this number 40 anyways, even though it's the same size, so that wouldn't help. Okay, differences here. Colors, okay. Plates, okay. I'm not gonna get into plates, so I'm gonna have to skip that as being a way to potentially identify this stamp. Horizontal pair in perforate between. Okay, well, so it's definitely not 21A. I'm perforated on all four sides. So, we can now rule out 21A. Blue, okay. Horizontal pair, 22B also can't be that then. And then laid paper. So really, they're all the same color. So it can't be number 21A or 22B. So we're still left with all of these other variations that it potentially could be. Now, from looking at this sheet, excuse me, I'm not sure what else I can actually do from here. So let's go back to our identifier. I think that was kind of all that could be done from the visual identifier there. Now also this Washington Franklin, see, this is 1908 to 22. Ours is definitely older than that. Let's try this all stamps finder. No. Okay, so well, let's try this one. So we just hopped back out of the 1847. This one says identify all U.S. stamps. Okay, regular issue stamps. 1847 to 93. Well, let's try it just for fun. So here, the way that they would be done here would be to actually just scroll through. Now this might not be such a bad way. So there's, see, these are in perforate is what I'm looking at here. So we know, starting with number 5 from the other table, we know it started there. These are all in perforate. Perforate and perforate and perforate. Perforate and perforate. Let's keep going. And wouldn't you know it? Okay, so here's number 18. That's right, on that table, 18 was the first potential one that it could be. And so these have 15 and a half. That's what we have. We get 18. It says blue. Okay, type 1 with no watermark on this number 18. Type 1A. It doesn't mention. Oh, it is unwatermarked again. Okay, these do say unwatermarked. So anyways, look at this. Looks like they're breaking it down by types. So type 1, type 1A, type 2, type 3, type 3A, type 4, type 5. So we've got 5, well, more than 5 actually. We've got several different types here. I want to scroll down just to see if there's any more. Okay, there's number 40, but we know that that one wasn't it because the perfs were 12. So this is how I'm thinking, and I don't know if anybody else would do it like this. Some people might use the catalog. I'm trying to use these features here and skip the whole catalog dilemma. You can tell as you keep getting more recent that they changed design. So, and we know number 40 was kind of the last one according to that table that it could be. It's not that. So, logically, using the powers of deduction, we can say that it's somewhere between number 24 and number 18, because those are the first ones that actually have perforations. So what did I figure out here was, well, at least that I think that our next step is going to be, what type is this design? I need to figure out, is this a type 1, 1A, 2, 3, 3A, 4, whatever. So, let me, I don't actually know right off the bat where to go to figure out the type on this stamp. And so I'm going to pause for a second. I'm going to try and find, so you guys don't have to dick around with me, where on this website they might have some information to help me identify the type. Okay, so that was actually a huge pain in the butt, but I figured out what to do, and it's kind of funny how I ended up figuring out what to do. Basically, I tried all of my different identifier tool websites that I could, and it was a big fail. I ended up hopping into the specialized catalog and was like, I hate this. I really do hate this, using this thing in the identifier method in this catalog. It's just a pain in the ass. I've never ever had an easy time with it. Doing it like this, I'm trying to read, complete curved lines outside the labels with the US postage in the 1 cent. I'm like, yeah, well, they look like curved lines, and anyways, I was like, I started trying to read this, and I was like, I hate this. And I just hopped on the internet. I said, identifying early Franklin stamp types. And wouldn't you know it, one of my videos is here. And so I forgot that I did a video on this type of stamp in the past. It looks like back in February of, is it still 2022? Yeah, back in February of this year. As I was trying to identify a bunch of Franklin stamps I had. So when I went to my video, I watched a couple minutes in, and I mentioned that I'll have a link to, go figure, a feature on stampsmarter.org to help identify these stamps. Well, go freaking figure. I'd like to thank me from the past for making this video. It's only got 700 views, but man, this, as I'm dicking around trying to figure out this Franklin stamp, this is critical. Just, I'm so glad that I had put this up because it's helping me today. Anyways, I clicked the link and it takes me to the plating initiative. Okay, now I totally forgot. I said I wasn't going to get into plating or anything, and I have completely forgotten that in this 1 cent plating initiative, they've actually got a step-by-step tool to help you identify these stamps. So if we go back to Stamp Smarter, see, I was dilly-dallying over here, and right here is actually where I should have gone. And and look, it even said it, numbers 18 to 24, and you can see that that's our stamps. So anyways, when you click on it, it gives you this easy identification article where they start talking about stuff. But based on my info from that last video I had made, I should probably try to use the step-by-step tool. So this will be actually probably kind of similar to that video, but this is ultimately, I didn't plan on picking this stamp. I wish actually I had known I had kind of already done this. I would have maybe picked a different stamp, but still, it's fun to go through all the the steps, because I this stuff is not fresh in my mind. It's been like, 10 months since I done that video, and I don't remember. So anyways, this is that step-by-step identifier tool for these early Franklin stamps. And if I'm not mistaken, you basically click the pictures one at a time, and it will lead you down the yellow brick road to help identify these early Franklin stamps. So, see, it says, a simple step-by-step tool allows you to determine the Scott number of these Franklin stamps. Answer yes or no until you arrive at the identification. So, step number 1, are right side ornaments all complete? Well, let's zoom in here and take a look at what they're talking about. I love this tool already. I don't have a paperback copy of that specialized catalog, but these kinds of tools make me want to just light it on fire, because this is so much better. I love that somebody took the time. You can clearly tell this ornament is complete, this ornament is not complete. You can see the kind of bulb here, the ball end of this ornament. It's completely missing on the side here. So, let's take a look at our stamp and see if we can identify if it actually is complete or not. And let's get real close. Let's get as close as my camera will let me. And last time I did this with my stamp microscope, which is not a bad idea. Anyways, maybe I can actually zoom in or something on when I'm editing, but so we're pretty close now. Now, I don't even need to zoom in. I can clearly tell that the ball end of this ornament is intact. It's not cut off on the edge of this design. This little one right here on the side is also intact, this little curl. So, I think it's safe to say that, yes, all right side ornaments are complete. If I wanted to really get into detail about all of the right side ornaments, I mean, I really could go down here and look at this one. Unfortunately, the swoop of the D is kind of covering this ornament, but I can already tell you that it's intact. I can tell. So we have all of our right side ornaments complete. So let me click yes. What's next? Recuts. Okay. This is new to me. So, recut top. Recut once on the top. Recut twice on the top. Recut bottom. See, this one says not recut. This is a not recut top. Ooh, this is totally new to me. Okay, so let me see if I can actually tell. I mean, recut. You can tell that there's a little break in the line there. I'm not sure right off the bat, what they're talking about. Recut bottom. I mean, clearly this is a bolder line than this line. I'm gonna have to pause for a sec and try and figure out. I'm gonna Google what recut is. Okay, so I ended up having to pull out the microscope here because I just did some Googling to find out that recut is when they recut the dies so that they can improve them. So when we're looking at the picture of the recut versus not, I was kind of noticing that the line seemed a little bit clearer, and that is correct. Now, they seem to emphasize the top or the bottom, and yeah, just really hard to see with the naked eye. So, got on my handy dandy microscope, and it looks like I'm looking right at the top above the OS or the POS kind of post, the word post or the OS in the postage word. We're trying to see exactly how clear the line is above it. Now, unfortunately, my cancel on this stamp kind of inhibits me a little, but I'm looking at it and it doesn't look, I mean, just to reference strictly these pictures that they're showing me, it kind of doesn't look recut. And then, so anyways, if I were to take a look at the bottom of the stamp, man, I haven't used this microscope in a while, but this thing is amazing. I do recommend you guys getting one of these if you haven't. Whoopsie! If you haven't looked into getting one, I have to kind of reposition this. These things are amazing for these stupid little details. It really can make quite a difference. So I kind of need to refocus it here. Let's see. Trying to get it on the right spot. So bear with me, it's a little touchy. Okay, that actually looks pretty good. It's a little hard to get it exactly where I want it. So we're looking at kind of the bottom line in between the words 1 cent. Well, wouldn't you know it, my stamp is kind of cut off there. My actual design image on this stamp is sort of cut off just because of how off center it is, which that's a shame. That's definitely something that will kind of inhibit me from really inspecting the bottom line well enough, but they're kind of emphasizing the very bottom, and it's cut off, so that is just a shame. And me not really being a master with this, I mean, I'm just kind of doing this on the fly here. I'm just going to have to reference based on the top line. And, you know, when you're looking at that, I mean, that does not look anywhere near as solid as those recuts. So anyways, I'm going to have to say that I think it is not recut. And that's just going to be my best guess. Unfortunately, you know, the recut ones, I mean, they definitely look crisper and clearer. And when I'm looking at this, I mean, it just doesn't look as crisp and clear as these pictures that I'm seeing. So that's my best guess. Let's see how that works out moving forward. Okie dokie, so we're gonna say that it's not recut. Boy, I hope that's right. Okay, next step. Are frame lines both complete? The top and bottom. Let me zoom in here even. Oops, 1 time's too many. Okay, so at kind of the top label, US postage, it has this kind of frame line, this outer frame line that either is or is not complete. Well, let me take a look at this guy. I just turned off my microscope, but it looks like I'm going to want to use it again. Hold on. Okay, hey, I just want to mention, sorry for if the frame rate seems low. I literally am, every time that I set up this microscope, I have to screw with my camera settings so you don't have this weird bar running across my phone. So these settings might be a little inconsistent in this video, but I'm trying to get you guys an actual good view on the microscope view on the phone. So now on this picture, they're really pointing to specifically right above the P and O in postage. Basically right there. And on the one that says, are both of them complete, both of the frame lines, it looks like this upper line, kind of what we were looking at before, what I decided about the whole recut thing or not, would pretty much be gone. It wouldn't even be there. When I look at this picture, it's like not there whatsoever. And the one that it says are both complete, you can clearly tell that it's there across the whole top. And I mean, as I'm looking at this, you guys can see that that frame line is definitely there. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that both frame lines are complete. It would literally not, you wouldn't even be able to see it. It would be blank practically. So I see a line there. So I'm gonna say yes, both frame lines are complete. Okie dokie. So are both frame lines complete? Yes. Are both bottom ornaments complete or nearly so? It's weird they don't have a picture. Let me try and reload that. Okay, well, it took me right all the way back to the start. Alright, so we're... yes. No. Both frame lines complete, yes. Okay, so they're just straight up asking me, are both bottom ornaments complete or nearly so? Well, both bottom ornaments. So that one has a freaking postmark on it. Let's take a look over here. And I feel like it could be a little clearer. That's a little bit better. Okay. Well, oops, I had it where I wanted it there. Get back. Sorry. This is touchy. Oh. Okay. Now, looking at these bottom ornaments, right? Actually, I want to go up a little bit. I feel like you guys, there you go. God dang it. What's it doing? Oh. It's hitting the microphone, or the microscope stand. Okay, so bottom ornaments. I'm pretty sure this is what they're talking about. This kind of backwards C and then this E looking shape. They're saying, are they complete or nearly so? Well, I'm going to say nearly so or complete. See, like this one is clearly missing this line right here to kind of connect this ornament outer line, but it's nearly complete. I would think that's an accurate description. And this guy looks pretty good. I mean, this one actually looks complete to me. One of those earlier steps are the ornaments on the side, on the right side, completely missing or not. And clearly they were there. So let's take a look over here. Yeah, see, the postmark goes over this guy, so it's kind of hard to see that. But clearly this one is there. And in the picture earlier on in the steps, it was cut off about halfway through. So that's why we chose, are the right side ornaments complete? Yeah, I would say so. And so yeah, I mean, if they're asking me, are they complete or nearly so? I'm going with nearly so or complete. So we're gonna say yes. Are top ornaments complete? Top ornaments, come on down. Okay, that's looking complete to me. We've got the whole E here, is what I keep calling that. It's just an ornament, but kind of looks like a fancy E. And then we've got this little swoop here, and that all looks complete. It says top ornaments. Well, let's check the other side. Just to satiate any curiosity here. I'm going to call this a complete ornament. I mean, that definitely looks complete to me. It's kind of close to the side. I think that this specific stamp is a little off-center down to the bottom and to the left of the stamp, in my opinion. So, and you know, this bottom ornament being so close to the perfs, I'm gonna say that it is complete, but it's just, I think, probably a symptom of this specific stamp just being off-center to the left. You know, I want to take a visual on it. I mean, here's where we can nitpick. I mean, to get technical, is this ornament complete? No. I mean, it's missing the space right there. It's missing a little bit. You know, if you were to compare it to, the camera is just so slow. Like this side, I mean, clearly that whole ornament is there, right? And this side is clearly missing the center. It's asking me, are top ornaments complete? Well, I mean, 3 of the 4 are complete. I wonder if this is just because of this stamp or what, but I'm looking at that. It's off center to the left, and I think that that's part of it, but then again, I mean, this bigger ornament seems to be even further closer to the perfs, and it's complete. I'm scrutinizing this hard. I'm gonna say yes, and we're gonna see how this goes. Oh boy, this just doesn't end, does it? Are there full plumes at the bottom? Oh golly, full plumes. I'm looking for some full plumes over here. We got full plumes. Are these the plumes? If these are ornaments, then these have got to be plumes, and they're looking full to me. This is still a pain in the ass. I mean, that plume's kind of cut off, but this thing is totally off center, right? Ugh. Full plumes at the bottom. Yes or no? This is funny how this stuff goes. It's just a pain in the ass, is the truth. I mean, I would say yes. Oh boy. So let's see how this goes. Let's just choose yes. I think so. Yes. Perforated. Well, that's easy. Yes. You have a number 18 type 1. Holy freaking crap. It worked. Wow. And look at this picture. You can see the scrolls here. The scroll at the bottom. And these, yeah, definitely, I would say these are the plumes they're talking about. Those are the ornaments. And as I look in my stamp microscope here, the ornaments, or the scrolls are actually into the perfs. That's where I really do think it's just off center. And let's take another look at our plume. Yeah, I mean, there's our plume. So the scroll is kind of missing from my stamp. It's just so off center, but I'm definitely going with this being an 18 type 1. Now, let me go pull back out my catalog and let's take a look at what it says in there, since it's already been identified in there, and let's just see how we did and if this tool actually worked, even though I was a little unsure a couple of times. You just kind of have to make your best judgment, I suppose. And so let me just make sure that it did say it was a type 1. We knew it was an 18, but let's check. Well, son of a gun, wouldn't you know it? Type 1, number 18. And this was the description. Cat number 18. Paid, yeah. This doesn't actually say anything about the type, but number 18, I suppose if it is an 18, it is a type 1. Wow, so that was quite a little adventure. I didn't know that it was actually going to be like that. I thought that, I'm not even kidding, I thought it would be easier because I thought me with my big intellectual balls were going to walk up to this stamp and just be able to identify it using my amazing identifier tool, but it was still a little bit hard. And I was still unsure. And isn't that just the nature of this stuff? I mean, we're just a regular Joes and we're not like experts trying to do this stuff. It can be a real pain in the butt. But I will say, using the identifier tool, the feature here on Stamp Smarter, this 1 cent plating initiative, way better than using the Scott Specialized catalog, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, you had to think, I needed a microscope. You could have probably got a magnifying glass if you don't have a microscope. Really nitpicking, you know, and it was a heck of a lot better than trying to interpret their descriptions for things in the catalog. So I still love that tool. I recommend it. That was a nice refresher for me. Last time in that video that I had done, I'm pretty sure that these were the ones that I ended up identifying, and I guess they ended up being number 24. That one too, actually, I saw that in the video, this manuscript. That's a 24 type 5. And I believe that these 24s actually were easier to identify than this number 18. So anyways, that was an interesting adventure. Hope you guys enjoyed the journey that we took there, and yeah, I'm glad that I did that as a nice refresher and as a way to kind of get refamiliarized again, because I forget these things over time. The terminology, you know, plume, what the hell, you know, that kind of stuff. And it's like, oh yeah, these have ornaments and plumes. Now I know there's a scroll also on the bottom. I totally didn't notice that before. But you know, I'm looking at these, trying to see, like, now can I tell if they're recut? Are these recut? They're actually horribly off center to the top. I'm not sure if this whole recut thing is really a thing with these, maybe, but anyway, not to get lost in thought. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you learned maybe a little something. I love this album. I never look into this thing anymore, but this is like my favorite album ever. I'm torn between this and the Giant Worldwide album, but I spent a lot of freaking money on this album here. Look, another nice paid fancy cancel. It's gorgeous. I totally love this album. If you guys haven't checked out the video for this album, take a look at it. I really spent a lot of time and money on this thing, and there's still some spaces need some filling, but I've definitely spent a pretty penny on this guy. I love this album. It's fun to look through. Fancy cancels, these are awesome. Little certs here. Oh man, a nice star fancy cancel on the cover. Fancy cancel city over here. Another one on this 69. Anyway, okay, I gotta stop. That's not this video. Okay, take care, guys. I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.